How to fix VAN9003 error in Valorant. Welcome back to Teknobalta. During our recent infrastructure upgrade, our technical team encountered the notorious VAN9003 error code while testing competitive Vanguard configurations on our primary Windows 11 testbeds. After deploying extensive system diagnostics, we determined that this failure directly stems from a breakdown in the handshake between Riot Vanguard and the system's underlying cryptographic hardware. Our technical analysis isolated the root cause to specific UEFI configurations, legacy system remnants, and incorrect trusted platform module parameters. To help you restore access immediately, Teknobalta has systematically verified and compiled the ultimate sequential protocol to resolve this restriction permanently. Before modifying any hardware-level parameters, Teknobalta's diagnostic methodology requires verifying your current software operating state directly inside the OS environment. We recommend executing the run command by pressing the Windows key plus R simultaneously, typing msinfo32 into the prompt, and pressing Enter to pull up the system information window. Once inside, our analysis shows you must verify that your BIOS mode is explicitly labeled as UEFI and check that the secure boot state reads as enabled. If either of these system variables is configured incorrectly, Riot Vanguard will continuously reject connection handshakes, triggering the failure state. During our lab testing, we isolated scenarios where local operating system notifications or third-party background software overlays interfere with the initial game launch sequence. If you encounter auxiliary alert dialogues or warning pop-ups upon executing the Riot client after adjusting initial parameters, our team confirms that checking the box to prevent the message from displaying again and choosing to dismiss or cancel the warning is safe. This ensures that the Vanguard kernel-level driver can execute its anti-cheat verification cycle without being artificially blocked by lingering user interface threads. To initiate the hardware recovery phase, reboot your personal computer and prepare to access your system's motherboard firmware interface immediately during the initialization sequence. Based on our diagnostics across multiple test configurations, spamming the F10 function key or the F8 function key during the initial power-on cycle will force the computer into the BIOS recovery menu. Our technical team notes that motherboard user interfaces can occasionally cause local USB inputs to temporarily freeze or stop responding, so it is crucial to navigate quickly using your keyboard arrow keys if your mouse cursor becomes unresponsive. Once you have successfully initialized the primary motherboard configuration interface, navigate directly to the boot management section to address the core driver validation breakdown. Teknobalta's analysis revealed that the primary reason Vanguard triggers the VAN9003 failure is due to the OS type parameter being set to legacy options. Locate the specific setting labeled Secure Boot, select it, and change the operating parameter from the default Other OS configuration over to the dedicated Windows UEFI mode. This explicit assignment enforces proper modern cryptographic signing requirements across the boot chain. If your specific motherboard firmware separates security variables from the standard boot configuration, you must navigate into the Advanced Key Management submenu located under the Secure Boot hierarchy. Teknobalta's engineering team verified that factory default cryptographic keys can sometimes become corrupted, causing Vanguard to fail its validity checks even when the core feature appears active. Inside this submenu, executing a factory key restoration cycle ensures that modern, valid platform keys are actively forced into the motherboard's non-volatile storage area. After stabilizing the cryptographic key structures, use your directional controls to exit the submenus and enter the primary security management panel. Our internal diagnostics indicate that Riot Vanguard strictly monitors hardware compliance states, meaning You must locate the option labeled TPM Device Status and ensure it is explicitly set to available. If this value is flagged as hidden or unavailable, the operating system cannot query the required physical security hardware, which automatically triggers a total anti-cheat lockout upon launching the title. Following the activation of the hardware availability parameter, you must immediately locate the core toggle labeled TPM State or Trusted Computing inside that exact same security module. Our testing showed that merely exposing the device to the OS is insufficient, meaning you must actively switch the setting to Enabled to activate the processor's cryptographic processing features. This specific adjustment establishes the mandatory secure boundary that Vanguard leverages to shield game memory spaces from malicious third-party manipulation tools. To completely eliminate compatibility interference from older hardware configurations, navigate into the Advanced Options tab and open the subpanel designated for legacy infrastructure support. Teknobalta's team discovered that older compatibility layers often override modern system protections, requiring you to locate the option labeled Configure Legacy Support and Secure Boot. To fix this, adjust the setting so that legacy boot options are completely disabled while simultaneously forcing the modern secure boot function to be fully enabled. Once all modifications have been completed inside the firmware interface, saving your technical adjustments correctly is paramount to preventing configuration rollbacks. Teknobalta recommends pressing the F10 hotkey to bring up the confirmation prompt, verifying that the summary lists the changes to UEFI Mode, Secure Boot, and TPM, and choosing to save and exit. The system will automatically perform a hard reset, load the freshly configured parameters into memory, and launch your Windows environment with all mandatory modern anti-cheat requirements fully fulfilled. Don't forget to follow Teknobalta for more.